Major League Journeymen, how we doing? Gordo, great to see you. Dax, not in attendance today. He is recovering from being one of 9 on camera wearing the gray suit, white shirt uniform. I think he was a little embarrassed. He was still wearing it today. Didn't want to show up on camera again. But we got two individuals that have no experience in an All-Star game to talk about the MLS All-Star Game, which is perfect. I've been to one, I've been to two, now I've been to three, not as a player, but I have consumed them. You've been to two? No, not as a player. How many MLS All-Star games have you been to though? I know you've been
Zero.
you were in Chicago, idiot.
Was I?
Yeah, I was with you.
I didn't go.
Um, you did go. You didn't go as a player. Are you serious right
I
now?
didn't go to the game. Oh yeah,
No, I
I was
didn't.
there for
Yeah, we were there
yeah.
for the
I've been to no
festivities. We were
game.
there festivities. Yeah, you were not in
So keep
attendance for the game.
keep your insults to yourself.
You know they're coming out, whether you
Coming
want them or
hot.
not. Whether you
Yeah,
want them or not.
I know how
Uh,
many I've been to. Thank you.
you know what? But this week we weren't in Austin, but we did. I think to your credit, tune into an awful lot of MLS All-Star content, which was good. Because I think at this point I have an opinion.
I got an opinion.
And you, I know you have an opinion too. So there's some goods, there's definitely some bads from my vantage point. But I do think I'll share with you, I'll start with my overall takeaway. And my overall takeaway is the identity of Major League Soccer's All-Star Game is lacking, or it's confused, or it's both. I think that overall, my takeaways were there's really not a clear direction in what they want to accomplish out of the week. And it for me it kind of showed, and it took away from what I view as like one of the most incredible honors that you could potentially get as a professional soccer player. That to be named an all-star, one of the best in your league in that season, I think is really incredible. And that's a whole nother topic of conversation, like how we get to the, who votes, what the weight is, all those types of things. But I think just the honor in general is very special. But I think that at this point, with so many iterations of what this all-star extravaganza has looked like, this one in Austin for me fell pretty flat in a lot of different ways. So that was my overall takeaway. I am genuinely interested to hear how you feel about it or felt about it.
Yeah, I would agree with you, dude. I really would. Be, I I thought it was worse than last year. Last year, we talked about it on another a podcast, but I liked it. I liked it
Hmm.
more than I did. I liked the skills challenge, which I'm generally not a fan of. So
Hmm.
that was different for me. I was with my kids. We liked it. It was competitive. We were celebrating when we beat the League MX side.
Yep.
All that kind of stuff. This year I'm watching it, dude, and it felt so gimmicky, man. Like this whole
Hmm.
thing with the speed guy, and my kids like him, and I get it. He's got 40 million viewers or subscribers or whatever it is.
Man, if you couldn't have walked away from the broadcast knowing how many YouTube subscribers I Show Speed has, I think that's maybe the only thing that I learned out of the entire 3 days.
Yeah, but why are we giving this guy, why are we letting him on the field? Why are we letting him take shots? Why are we letting him compete we are there to put on display the incredible players that have the honor to do it. And we have
Hmm.
people that are not all stars doing the challenges. I
Hmm.
don't like it. I love Deuce. I love Peralta. They should not be. They should be there in support. I
Be the
think they would
coaches.
be coaches. I don't
Yep.
want to see them do it. It was like that did nothing for me. And even the women. I don't even know if I should touch this. We might get
No, I think we have to
canceled.
because they shouldn't be there either.
They shouldn't be
What's the
there. And they
difference?
did,
What's the
and they
difference between
did
them and
great.
I Show Speed? They're not MLS All-Stars or Liga MX
They're
All-Stars.
not. And they did great and they showed and and all that stuff, but they shouldn't be there. I didn't tune in to watch them. So it became a spectacle. Then they had Vince Young out there, bro. And then they had this rapper who's
Vince Young and
doing
his son throw three footballs
footballs.
apiece. Like to do what? What was
That's
accomplished there?
it seems like the cheapest form of they're searching for content and like viewership, and it's like, dude, are you not a league that is in control, that has a good fan base, that is thriving? Are we that desperate? This feels like 1998, where you're like, hey, football fans, come out and watch Vince Young throw a football. Like, what
Dude,
what are we doing?
I
Like,
also like the some of it, man, you are hitting the nail on the head with how I was feeling the entire time. And I
it
tuned
was
in on
embarrassing.
two separate evenings, which is a lot for me.
Yeah,
That's
same.
to check into this league back-to-back nights to see Vince Young throw footballs and I Show Speed. The fact that I know who I Show Speed is now, I'm almost somewhat embarrassed, but now,
Embarrassed.
okay, he's a massive YouTube star. I don't give a shit. I don't.
No,
I don't care.
zero.
And he was the star of the show. He was the all-star. He was
Isn't that
the
crazy?
all-star.
He
Which was
was.
nuts. Which was
And he
nuts.
can't
So
and he
it goes
can't
back to
kick
like
a ball to save his life.
no, he shouldn't. But like, that's not. Don't do YouTube videos. That's what you do. Like, do a YouTube video. How about
Yeah.
we give him the hosting capabilities? If he's so good at being a YouTube phenomenon, then have him interviewing the players or whatever. My, I, man, you're what you said right there. I think was so appropriate because I also found myself in watching the All-Star game, listening to some of the rhetoric from the players and from the broadcasters and some of the things they were saying, it felt like they were still pleading with people to understand that Austin is a soccer city and
Right.
MLS is coming and
Right. Right.
we're
Exactly.
it was just it felt like really uncomfortable. I was really uncomfortable being like it felt like they were just pleading to be fans of the league or
Begging.
fans or
Begging.
begging in a lot of different ways. And I don't know, as
Hated it.
a longtime advocate for this league, I really walked away from that event specifically feeling like the messaging missed, like the overall intention of it was nowhere to be found. And it felt like it was really hastily put together, which is unfortunately going to give not going to give the people that probably worked their asses off in for a lot of hours and a lot of days and a lot of months in the buildup, not enough credit for the work that they did. But I do think it comes back to a consistent theme that we've been talking about an awful lot, which is there is so many dates and so many events and so many games and so many things for everybody to do that I think it's missing the mark in so many different ways because of just the overall consumption of all of it. It just feels like it's too much that you can't put on an actual quality event without missing. Like you got you got the Club World Cup that just finished up. You got Leagues Cup starting next week. You got breaks for all these different teams. I mean, even actually
Wait, wait,
let's
wait.
pivot.
Let me pause you there. Do you know, like, the amount? So this is going to add. So they just came off of what, a 2 week break or 3 week break for the World Cup, the MLS teams.
The FIFA World Cup. They had some teams
Two.
had like a 3 week break,
Okay, 3 weeks. Then they're on break this week, right? Some teams didn't play. Rapids
but
didn't
some
play.
teams play on Friday night. So they're
Right.
not
So
really
some
like some
teams
are on a
do.
break, some aren't.
Some are on break, some aren't, because I played golf with a couple of Rapids guys. And then we're going right into Leagues Cup, and they will play, but it's a break from the actual league. When do we get back to getting getting into this league, which is a tight race on both sides for the playoffs, which is ultimately taking a back seat from all the other stuff. It's
All the other
really taken
stuff.
a it's taken a back seat. We're not even thinking who's winning the supporter shield at this point. We're not even thinking who the MLS Cup champion. We're thinking about who's going to make the Club World Cup. What were the other teams doing? Nothing. Vacation,
Mm-hmm.
Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And now I agree with you, man. It's too much. It's too much. Sam Cronin in
What's
the
up,
house.
boys? We're on the course and we have dodgy Wi-Fi, so bear with us, or dodgy connectivity.
What up, boys?
We got both boys. We're here in pristine Portola, California.
Oh, I don't know where
How
Portola, California is. Where is that?
It's like an hour and a half north of Tahoe.
Oh, so how do you end
oh
up there?
We're on the
hey,
we have a wedding on Saturday, so we've had a great little California family trip. 3 nights in San Francisco, 2 nights in Tahoe, and then
the
Dang.
now
old
and
stomping
then
grounds.
and then now we're here for 3 days.
Good for you. So did you watch the All-Star game as a family or how did you consume?
I saw the score line the next day, 3-1. 3-1,
Sammy,
no Messi. Let's go.
No
Sammy,
Messi, no tune in. No Messi, no tune in.
that's
No
right.
tune in.
Hey,
I missed it this year. Typically I'd be there, but I missed it. On
hey,
vacation, boys.
this is all I want to ask you. I haven't asked you this, and let's see, it's been 12 years, and I've never asked my boy this. I got two things here. Okay, I'm gonna start with
Hey,
the
hey, I'm
first.
playing golf. Can you make this quick? Come on.
Oh, and I know what you're gonna
We got
say is
a 9-minute question come from Gordo here.
uh, all I want to say. My kids have watched this goal at Stanford a
Yeah.
thousand times, a thousand times.
Whose goal?
And
Your goal?
yeah, my goal, of course. Yeah,
Hey.
which I did all the
It's
work.
the only thing Gordo talks about is himself. Come on, Sammy.
Yeah.
I want to know, Sammy, from your perspective, why in the holy shit would you chip that ball far post when you're in the 18?
So I haven't watched it in a while. My memory though is so Shay cut it back to me, and
Yep.
my first touch wasn't great actually. Like it kind of got stuck
For
underneath
you.
me.
For you.
Yeah,
For me,
it
like
did.
I mean,
For you.
No, you're
my
right.
touch,
Your touch wasn't
that
great because you had to hit it in a different way. You
You kind of just
readjusted.
went,
yeah. And he kept it a little sticky on the touch, a little too
Yeah.
sticky. Uh, but then so it was I was just jammed up. So then I was like,
oh,
and then I think it was Pablo
Uh,
for the Galaxy, like a little pressure. And I did see you like before. I kind of feel or I knew you were far post.
because
It was,
why?
dude. You know how
Be-
because
because why?
Daddy's
Your
always there.
vision.
Because Daddy's always there.
Yeah.
Daddy's always-
because you're too lazy to actually make the run to the near post, Gordo. Come on, we know this about you.
and sorry guys, don't mind me going for a gander here. It looks like Daddy drove it over the par four on the scramble here. So I got to go back and play my buddies here. Hold on. Yeah, no, I didn't take a great touch, and it kind of said like we had numbers, so I just clipped it, and the rest is history, dude. The goalie was kind of, I think partly everybody was expecting like a shot or me to drive with it,
Right.
probably. So the goalie, like once I clipped it, like everybody was kind of out of play, and then it was,
Yeah.
I mean, and anybody could have scored that thing.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, and my second thing is
Sammy.
I just wanted to apologize publicly for not celebrating with you.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
dude.
It was
Buddy,
all about me at that moment. Shirts off. Daddy did his
yeah,
push-ups before the game,
you're
because I was prepping. So I
listen.
apologize for not coming to you, dude, because that was the
Dude,
time.
all every star needs a supporting cast. I knew where I was there. I'm there to serve it up and then get back to the halfway line.
Dude, hey, the replay is so funny because you're like jumping by yourself. You're
Oh, I
like
think yeah,
celebrating by yourself.
just looking for a friend. Just look,
Looking for and I'm off. I'm off doing my thing, shirts off in front of the crowd like an
uh,
absolute
yeah, we
d-bag.
gotta. Hey, let's put you on. Let me put you on pause here for 10 seconds.
All right.
Yeah, hit that thing.
Here you go, boys. Talk to Gordo. Gargo.
Hey,
What's up,
boys.
fellas?
Oh, I got you. My AirPod's still in. Hold on, so they can't hear you. Connor, heads up, bud. Oh, they like it a lot. Oh, it's really good. Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's really good. We're gonna have to
Yeah.
edit that out.
Yeah.
Sounds like a red tube episode now.
It's good. It's good, guys. It's close. Um,
They just
just
step up and hit
really,
it.
really, really big off the tee, really soft hands around the green. It's a good combo here, boys.
Love it, dude.
What else is going on?
What
Are we
else
just
we got for
asking?
this guy?
Are we asking Gordo questions, or are you guys asking guest questions? What's going on?
No, we wanted to talk All-Star, which like
Yeah.
Sammy, your response is not that different than most people I was texting with last night. I was like, "Are you actually watching this?" And the overwhelming response from the soccer community was no,
Yeah.
not tuned in, which is not great.
Yeah, no, that's not great. I'm definitely more out to lunch on it. Like if I were home in typical routine, I would have been closer to it and tuned in, but was it Apple TV game?
Yeah, it was Apple TV, and like I was thinking about this because it is like random, right? It's random. It's late July. It's a Wednesday night. I don't think it started until 9:30 on the East Coast. Like all of it was
Ugh.
somewhat, a bit off. It's as with everything else with Apple, it's essentially behind a paywall, so it's not easily accessible.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to search it out. You have to seek it out. Um, and I was thinking about it as I was going through it, and I was like, man, this doesn't look like the NBA All-Star Game. It doesn't look like the NHL. And then I was like, but it is outside, so we have to, what can we compare it to? And then I went
Yeah.
back to
Yeah. Yeah.
like, okay, maybe this is more like the MLB, maybe it's more like the NFL. And then I went to the NFL and I was like, well, they do the Pro Bowl in Hawaii. Maybe that's a direction that MLS should go and just completely remove it out of the middle of the calendar and take it somewhere
Yeah.
else.
Yeah. Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I don't know, Gordo. I don't know. I mean, we can get into it. We will get into it. But I think my overall feeling was this event, which I listened to a bunch of Garber's comments, and he was like, no, this is something that is in our calendar. It's something that we value. It's
Yeah.
a break in the season. It allows all of our CSOs and our CBOs and all of these individuals to come together. It's really important for us. But I think it's got a complete lack of identity. It's gone through this like
Yeah.
metamorphosis so many different times, whether it's the East and
Yeah.
the West,
Connor, you
or
putt
it's
for
it's
me.
the Premiership, or it's the Mexican, the Liga MX All Stars, and you're
Right.
bringing in where I feel like it's got all this stuff and none of it really aligns to the same thing. Like we had
Yeah. 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 It's
Caitlin
kind of a
Caitlin
divergent
Kyle was
interest.
dude. Caitlin Kyle and Clint Dempsey were on the field last night trying to convince I Show Speed to take a PK in the middle of game warm-ups against the goalkeepers that are warming up to play the game. And like it just was like, okay, there's competing interests here now because now
Yeah.
we're supposed to be at a point where these guys you want a meaningful product on the field playing against the Canaleses and the Liga MX All-Stars that are ballers, and you want
Yeah.
them to perform and to beat Liga MX to up your credibility, but you're also doing the shenanigans that are found at a
Right.
Pro
Yeah.
Bowl or at a
Right.
at an event that falls more in line with an East-West skills competition type scenario. And it just feels
Right.
like no one really knows what to do, so they're just trying to do everything,
Yeah.
and it diminishes the whole entire product. That was what I walked
Yeah.
away from.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. So is the game itself like competitive or like both
I,
teams getting after it, like making tackles and running, or is it
I
like
thought the game quality was good. I thought
The
everything
first
else
5
around.
minutes is no good, and then as soon as somebody makes a tackle, then it
yeah.
goes straight up.
Yeah. So the quality was
No,
good. What I want to ask Sammy, since you didn't watch it, are you a fan of all these MLS games on Apple, or do you think it should be more available to
I
the general public?
I think I'll give you my personal experience, and I know that this is shared with other people I've talked to. Um, I watch so few, and I mean, like, I'm such an occasional viewer, and it's because it's behind it's, and I have Apple TV, and I'm more inclined to watch a show on Apple TV than I am
Yeah.
to tune into a game. So I don't know what
Hmm.
like psychological experiment that is, why that is. But when it was
Like out of
on
sight, out of mind. You don't see
a
it
little bit,
on there, and you're like, you're not going to be drawn to it.
when it was just like on a Sunday afternoon on Fox or ESPN or whatever it was, and we were just lounging, like we'd always have it on in the house, always. And then now that it's on Apple, it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. And that's probably well said. Like I don't think to tune into it. And I
Yeah.
guess it's shame on me, but I represent definitely a percentage of viewers that's probably true with. So
Well, that was also
um,
partly how I ended up on a U.S. Open Cup game was because I flicked on YouTube TV and there it was at the top of my feed that Chicago Fire was playing whoever they were playing, Minnesota United, and I was like, "Oh
yeah,
yeah, how about that? There's an Open Cup game on. I'll watch that."
yeah,
As
yeah, yeah,
opposed to the alternative, which is going directly into, I mean, granted, you're going directly into YouTube TV, but still, it feels like sometimes it's one step too far unless
yeah.
you're actively seeking it out.
What are the numbers on Apple TV? Is it
They
like, do we
won't release
know?
them.
Is that
Mm-mm.
like, is it, they won't release them
Mm-mm.
strategically. So it's just part of like a bigger play, clearly. Sorry, I'm
They're
giving you guys
probably
Blair Witch.
shy.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey
They're probably not
Sammy,
great.
we'll get you out of here, dude. I appreciate you
This is
jumping on,
great.
dude.
I love seeing you guys as always. I'm gonna keep it nice and low out here in Portola. Don't worry.
All right, brother. Hey, thanks for calling in. We appreciate you. Love you.
Thankfully, this will be a little more tame than some of our rounds back in the day, boys, huh?
Oy. Yeah, well. Yeah. Are those riders of drinking age or no?
Better than that better than that Dallas round of golf that I can recall.
Oh baby, oh baby.
All
There
right,
was Grand
we're
Theft
out of here.
Auto. We won't go into it. There was Grand Theft Auto. Unless you want to go into it, Sammy. I don't know.
No,
You got a
that's
job. You
I'm
got a
parting
job.
off. I'm parting off. Later.
Because Garber has he's got a bit of a mess on his hands. Because Messi and Jordi Alba don't show up for the All-Star game. He's already set a precedent previously with Zlatan when he was with the Galaxy not playing in the All-Star game, and he got suspended the following game. Here's the issue. Inter Miami plays FC Cincinnati, which is a marquee matchup. And it is a phenomenal game that MLS and all of MLS's fans want to see every player on the field. Evander played in the All-Star game, played 30 minutes. Evander, or maybe he played more. He was awesome. Which that
He's
I want
so
to get
good.
I want to get to
Big fan.
Evander. I want to get to Evander, but let's push pause on Evander for right now because what is Garber going to do? And what is the league going to do? Because if they suspend Messi out of that game, that's major, which I don't think that they're going to do that. I don't
They
think
won't.
because now he's already defending, he's preemptively defending how many minutes Messi has played over the past like 9 games in 30 days, of which he's played 5 in the last 9. Of he's played all 90 minutes. I mean, he gave a presser and kind of ran through that. So from the technical side of things, absolutely. I don't want Messi to play on a Wednesday night in a meaningless game either. I don't I don't want him hurt. That's not going to benefit anybody. And going back to like what's the intention of the All-Star game? Like what are we trying to accomplish? Like I'm sitting there watching this being like, why don't we put younger players on the field? Why don't we bring in some of the guys that need recognition that are, yeah, I mean, how many guys did you play with, Gordo, that are in your roster that might not be the best players on the roster when you put them in an 11v11, but man, you would take them 10 times out of 10 to play in the skills competition.
Absolutely.
Every single team could send 2 or 3 guys that are lights out in that department and would put on an incredible show that probably actually care, as opposed to the players that go out there that don't really care because they have to play a game the next day, that maybe are just kind of going through the motions because it's inherent that you go through the motions because you also this as a player, your mentality is I'm I shouldn't be here right now. I'm too good for this. I don't need to be doing this. I can't try because if I try, I'm gonna fail no matter what. If I try too hard, then I look like a jackass for trying too hard. And if I don't try at all, and I show speed beats me right now, then I'm gonna look like a complete clown because
Yeah.
I'm losing to a YouTube sensation. You can't win. You're in a no-win situation. There are so many problems with the way that this thing is constructed. And I think that the biggest one that's ultimately going to come out of this is what Don and co, because it's not just a Don Garber decision, but what the league does with Messi. So if you're in Don's seat, what do you do?
Well, Don messed up. Don messed up real bad by because Messi is the one player that is bigger than the league, and Don let it happen. Okay,
Well, he's
Zlatan.
also got leverage because Messi hasn't signed his contract extension yet.
Well, that's why he didn't want to rock the boat, and so he's
Yeah.
scared. And Messi's the one guy. Beckham came back. Beckham was doing world tours when we played with him. He needed to be at the All-Star game. But Beckham's different than Messi. Okay. Beckham was on board with building the league. So Beckham, and to build his brand, I think he was more willing to go do it and he went to England, he held the torch, he flew overnight. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Well, your point is accurate. Beckham was also building generational wealth for himself while
He
doing it.
was. He was.
Messi has generational wealth.
Right.
This if Inter Miami succeeds, then great, he'll be richer than he is now. If Inter Miami doesn't succeed, it doesn't matter for him.
It
It
doesn't
literally
matter.
doesn't matter.
But what Don should have done is Don should have put his foot down for two reasons. Because he would have showed that the league is bigger than anyone, even the greatest player of all time. And he should have had him there in some capacity. Now, he should have showed up. I would have been, if I'm Don, what you asked me, I would have said, listen, I understand, dude. I get it. You've played a lot of minutes. You're older. You want to save your body. I want to save your body too. But you have to show up. You have to be here. And we're going to make sure that you are on display as being there. Because guess what? Because the Austin Stadium looked really thin, didn't it? I mean, especially for the skills competition, but the game looked thin too.
Yep.
And guess what would have happened if Messi was there? You wouldn't have had I call speed or I do speed or whatever the hell his name is. You wouldn't have had to have him out there or Vince Young. You could have saved your $500 appearance fee for Vince Young, who blew all his money, because I looked him up. Poor guy. I don't want to put him on blast like that. I get it, dude. I would have blown it if I made that money too. But what I'm saying is, if you have Messi there, then you're the Don, right? And then the league is bigger, and you have your guy, and you have your crowd, and you have control. Now he's just Messi can do whatever he wants. If he doesn't suspend him, and he already did that with Zlatan, because Zlatan was one of the biggest names that came to this league too. And that's a bold play. And that's a play that you can respect. This, if he doesn't do it the same thing, it's something that you cannot respect. And you don't want to lose respect as, you don't want to lose respect as the leader of a really healthy, growing league. And make it's like you giving LeBron treatment. They make LeBron go. LeBron ain't bigger than the league. He's the great, he's the biggest basketball player in this generation, maybe of all time. So you have to be consistent. And I think he missed it hugely. I think it's a big miss for him. And he's going to have to do something that he probably doesn't want to do. Because I want Messi to play Cincinnati. I don't want him to be suspended.
Dude, Inter Miami FC Cincinnati right now is the best game of the season.
Right.
If Messi and Alba play. If Messi and Alba don't play, they're going to struggle.
Yeah.
But like, what a marquee, it is the marquee matchup of the summer.
Yeah. Agreed.
Mikey Chabala stepping in.
Whoa, what's up, boys? What a pleasure, man. I didn't have this on my bingo card.
Are we going to be able to see your face or what? Where are you reporting from? Are you at a strip club in Houston right now? Where are we at?
Dude, you guys want?
Are you at a buffet lunch?
All right, $1 million shot, baby. Let's go, boys.
I see you doing your thing, dude. Go on. Oh, there he is, Mr.
There's the handsomest, hardest working man in Sphere.
True journeyman over here,
God, you look great, dude. How you been?
How you guys doing? Yeah, I'm great, man. My whoop says I'm 34 years old, so that's what I'm telling all the ladies out there now. I'm like, hey,
Okay.
I'm not 44 anymore.
That sounds like you're winning your age bracket because I know you're not 34.
Nope.
I saw some stuff online. You were running some sphere classes in Austin, right? You had a good group come out or what?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, basically I turned Sphere into like MLS Go, but for adults. So I share the programming with all the pro teams so that they have a social impact campaign to go to market around health and wellness. And so
Okay.
I essentially just like got all the old guys together, man, to like work out, play, just like do something healthy rather than just drinking every single night, right? So giving
Mm-hmm.
everybody an option in the morning. So yeah, I'm excited. Like think we'll do like a team walk, probably at MLS Cup where guys, just like game day, right? Well, I'll go for a walk, coffee, maybe end up at a coffee shop with like a little DJ, have some fun. But yeah, just creating some solutions for guys to connect, maybe through like something like more healthier than just the normal drinks, etc.
Dude, that's
Mike,
amazing. I love
Mikey,
that.
let me dive more into that because I'm interested at this point in my
Yeah.
life. Are you sober?
Yeah, I mean, not as of this last week because I was around Ricky Lewis and Gooch.
So you're like me, you're 2 days sober?
Yeah. Guys,
Tell
today's
me
my
more about
first
that.
day.
Is it mental? Is it men's health? Is it mental health? Is it choosing a sober path rather than the debauchery we used to do?
Yeah, I mean, I think all the things in between. I think one, I mean, there's just more research and data behind, drinking. And obviously, I think it was romanticized and, promoted in such a different way. And I think obviously as you get older, the recovery is way different. But more than anything, man, I feel like I use drinking as a crutch because of like, that imposter syndrome when I got done playing. Like I personally was struggling, and I use alcohol as that vice, man, and I don't think until you really deal with the emotions of the transition, and you really understand yourself. And I think that's why it's like self-medicating in a lot of ways. So I use that really through, the past decade, really, after playing, to just try to numb the pain in a lot of ways. So yeah, this year was a big, like, hey, let me do something different, right? I think being self-aware as a player, it's like nothing changes if nothing changes. And you kind of look at yourself and I'm like, man, I'm playing at like 70%. I have more in the tank, and just wanting to see more out of myself, and yeah, so choosing a more sober journey this year. Obviously, like when you're around the guys, and there's nothing like just having a drink. So just trying to find like if there is a healthy tequila option, or just one or two rather than 10. But I cut myself out. I subbed myself out of the game by like midnight every night. I was working out every morning, so it's a balance like anything, boys.
Dude, this
Love
is
it.
like a TED Talk. I love it, Mikey.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I'm
Thank you
here
for
for it.
joining us. Give us some names, dude. Who'd you get to run into?
Oh man, I mean, Aleko's obviously always there, right? Like he's Mr. MLS, so he's always in
He's
the mix. Gooch was
No,
there,
but
which
like
is
who'd you meet that had a good personality?
Dax McCarty. Dax, okay.
Yeah. Dude,
Oh,
you
Dax.
lost
now we
all
know you're lying.
credibility.
Jesus.
You lost all credibility. Mikey, we can't hear you. You're
I know
cutting
I'm
out.
cutting out.
You're
I'm
cutting
cutting
out.
out.
Yeah, you're 0
Dude.
for 2. Anybody cool.
Anybody.
Anybody. Just
Heath Pierce, is that maybe a cow? Like Rodney
all right,
Waller,
Three
maybe?
strikes, you're out.
I know. Now I'm really lying, dude. It's like God, every Apple Plus guy that's on the TV, nobody wants to talk to, but they'll put anybody up there. Nobody really wants to call it how it is, but it's fine. No worries.
It's fine.
It's
Yeah, we're
fine.
not
It
we're
was good
not
though, man.
watching.
Honestly, like All-Star, I think is really becoming like the hallmark spot for guys because they can operationalize around it. I think, obviously you can plan for it. I think that there's more variances. And, I think all the guys are starting to find their place within the ecosystem of soccer. And like his stuff from like an educational perspective. I'm doing some fitness and wellness stuff. And obviously you've got lots of panels. So yeah, it's cool. I think obviously all MLS Cup is tough with not really knowing where the location is going to be. But I think overall the energy of All Star is increasing with just more guys wanting to be present. And I think the greats are trying to figure it out. The PA is trying to figure it out. But at the end of the day, it's always guys are going to gravitate to where the guys are going to go. and then they're going to tell everybody, right? And I think it's just a matter of communicating that and putting it together to make it desirable. Because it's not really a point, if you're not going to like guys that are playing or guys that you played with, and ultimately creating better relationships with them. But also we're all networking and connecting off the field now, right? So it's opening up that network again and trying to create opportunities for all of us to score off the field, if that makes sense.
It's good to hear from at least the alumni and the ancillary kind of I guess interested parties are participating. Like Chabala's been around the league for forever and has also, started a separate business that's been really successful, and he's continued to build it. And I've seen him at a bunch of different events. So to have that feeling that like all these guys are there and wanting it to do better, he mentioned the MLS greats. I know that the Players Association is now down there. I know that Black Players for Change are down there. They do a lot of this stuff of the surrounding kind of things. And that's, I said this at the beginning, it feels like it's trending more towards like a Pro Bowl environment where you're just bringing, all these people in and doing all the meetings. And it is just a general kind of reconnect, which like we haven't touched on this yet, Gordo, but like if Garber does go forward with the European calendar, then maybe he does leave it just like this. And this actually is off season, and off season becomes some segment of a Pro Bowl in the middle of July, and you go to some cool environment and you really blow it out, and it becomes a party, and you have business, you have the business meetings that surround it, or the league office meetings that are always tough to do because I feel like they try and jam those things around MLS Cup finals, and MLS Cup finals, you're already in roster planning. You're already, kind of behind the eight ball, so to speak, to get ready for the next year. I don't know.
I did. You know what I got to say, man, I think the MLS alumni is better than it's ever been. And I think we're just scratching the surface for reasons that you're talking about. TST, which we've talked about, and you and I both went there. How many old timers did we see there and get to have some drinks and talk about old times? We have been, you and I have both been to some MLSPA stuff that, can get better, but at least, we are forming a really good alumni that's staying connected with the league. And I think that's always been super important. I think that, people that have been, been focused on this are doing a good job of just getting this started, right? Is it perfect? No. Can we get more people involved? Yes. Should we? Yes. But I do love that what Mike said, that he was able to see a lot of guys coming back and connecting, because the fact of the matter is, guards, the fact of the matter is that for our generation, which Chabala was a part of, the MLS were not nice to us. And that is a fact. Our contracts weren't good. We weren't treated well. We weren't paid well. We weren't pampered. We didn't have good flights. We built this league and they took advantage of us. How many guys were cut mid-season multiple times, moving their families, this, that, and the other, right? And so they weren't great to us. So for the majority of our generation and the generation before us, we left the game. Not me. I played a little bit later to where I kind of touched into the good stuff. But if you didn't have a super long career and you were from our generation or the one before, like I said, you left the league very jaded. Yeah. Very jaded.
Disenfranchised for sure.
Yeah. Didn't like Garber, what he was doing, felt poorly treated. Didn't get, so we left and we were like, dude, if I never have to work or see MLS ever again, that's too soon. So for them to do this kind of stuff is, I think, really important for our generation, who a lot of us have had mental health stuff, kind of getting over, rebranding ourselves, getting into new careers because we didn't make any money. We had to start working right away. And it was, nobody knows except for us, except for the individuals, except for the brotherhood that we shared locker rooms with, those are the only people on the face of the earth that went through what we did and dealt with the emotional instability and what the hell am I do? What am I? Who am I? What am I going to do? How am I going to support my family? That we are the only people that know. And so for us to have these opportunities to get back together is truly special. And I think it's really cool. And I think that we need to keep diving into this and growing this alumni. And I think it does more good to have guys like Chabala doing these things that is not just debauchery, it's healthy stuff, it's getting together, it's doing all this stuff. So I loved what he said, and I hope that we can continue to grow, the alumni support in this league, which, is a really good thing in my opinion.
It's really well said, Gordo. I don't really want to add a ton there. The only thing that I will say is I don't know if I'm really jaded or disenfranchised at this point in my life. I do look back at some of my experiences and wish for more. But I also think, similar to like Don's decision or Garber's decision with Zlatan and what he's going to do with Messi, they're two different points in time, and this league is different today than it was back then. And the league operates with the information that they have at hand. Like we did an awful lot for the league as players. The league, to be fair, did a fair amount for us too. And it changed our lives in ways that only participating in Major League Soccer could have done. And that's something that I will always forever be grateful for because it allowed us to be in this brotherhood, right? I think that where it's at now is in a completely different place and they're operating in different ways. But to be able to get back into it.
Does that mean you make new rules?
I think you have to. I think you have to make new rules. I think that you have to change, and I think that you have to adopt or adapt. If you're not, then you're not keeping up with the way that things are moving with our society, with the way that things are moving with professional sports, the way that we're trying to compete, because they don't want to compete for just American eyeballs anymore. They want to compete on a global scale. And when we were in the league, they were trying to carve out a name for themselves in Chicago or in Philadelphia or in, even just within to be considered a major sport in this country. And that's where like some of it, going back to what we started with, the rhetoric out of the All-Star Game and in trying to convince people that Austin is a soccer city, it just sounded dated. It sounded like we are so beyond that, and we're still talking about this. Before we take off, I do want to talk about two minutes in about the actual game, because I think that there were a couple of takeaways that I saw, but I wanted to ask your opinion. Who was the most influential player for you on the field?
Oh, baby. I'm so glad you asked me this because
was it Callan Sullivan?
It was Callan. Yeah, it was Callan who should have been out there. I went through this weird sexual just love affair, and maybe non-sexual love affairs.
Okay.
With Carlos Gil.
Oh, okay.
That guy. I mean, how sweet is this man on the ball? Like, he is so silky. He is so beautiful. Like, he's
perfect.
He's perfect
in so many ways.
He's perfect in so many ways, dude. I fell in love with him, and I have a lefty. Reese is left-footed, and I'm like, Reese, come here.
Just watch this dude and do everything he does.
Just do this. It seems he makes it look very easy. And dude, I'm telling you, man, there was I can go on and on, but like, he is the guy that it's just like, it's
that
so
you always
sexy.
Wished you were.
Yes. It's so sexy how he's just out there. He probably didn't break a sweat. I guarantee he didn't break a sweat.
No. He could go back into the locker room and hang his jersey back up on the hanger, and no one would have any idea.
When I used to give my jersey out, I was like, oh, you're going to probably want to watch that.
I'm sorry you have to handle this.
Yeah, wring it out and wash it before you do anything, and don't smell it. But
you still didn't leave an impact on the game.
No, I ran a lot. I ran
Ran
a
a lot.
lot and then probably got elbowed in the face a lot. But
Uh,
he was so silky and smooth, man. Like he was great to
Let me
watch.
ask you a question. How do you think our boy Ned Grabavoy is feeling today
About trading Evander,
about getting rid of Evander? Yeah,
not good.
not good.
Not
Can't
good.
feel good. Also,
And
didn't I don't think he had an option. Just to be,
he didn't have an option. And we talked about this, and you guys were right. Or you were right.
yeah,
I think
me,
you
me.
said, I think you were the one saying, do not get rid of him. I don't
Yes.
care what you have to do. But he was already had one foot out the door. This guy, if in all seriousness, he stole the show for me. The skills competition and even the minutes that he played in the game.
Yeah.
And but more importantly, like I don't get to watch him on a regular basis and see how amazing he is. Besides like the highlights, right? The
Mm-hmm.
goals, we all know he's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But where I really became a fan of his is his interviews,
Mm-hmm.
how
Mm-hmm.
humble he is, because we were talking about, and this is the trouble about media, right? When you don't know the person that you're talking about. I had no idea when we were talking about Evander and his contract disputes. He sounded like an asshole. He sounded like a prick, and that was my take on him,
That was your
and
perception.
that was
Mm-hmm.
my perception. And so I'm like, why is this guy rocking the boat? He just had an amazing season, this, that, and the other. And then you listen to him as a person and how soft he is and how personable he is and how humble he is. And I became a true fan. And I almost felt bad about how I did feel about him prior with his negotiations with Portland and everything else that went along with it.
I think there were two takeaways for me, and one of them is about Evander. I think it is clear to me that this is Evander's league right now. Take Messi out of the equation. Messi's a separate universe in and of himself. This is Evander's league, and I think that even just the deference that was paid to him by the other players on the field was obvious, and it was very clear. And it's also like I feel like this league has gone through different iterations of that. Like it was Robbie Keane's league for a while. It was Giovinco's league for a while. It was probably Zlatan's league when he was here. I think this is Evander's league, and I think that he's going to win MVP. Well, I guess maybe not because Messi may just absolutely smash the scoring record. So again, you're competing with Messi, which is tough. But I do think that he is the cream of the crop. Now, in saying that, I also think that Denny Bouanga is maybe the best player that is in the league. Maybe not the best player, maybe the most impactful player in the league. What he was doing and the ease that he was doing it in was really impressive. So he's either the most impactful player in the league or the one that understood the assignment that everybody was watching and he might actually get a purchase price and get
It's
himself out of the
exactly
league.
exactly what I was thinking while watching him run through five different Mexican defenders
Dude,
is
flying.
this guy is going to be bought very, very soon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Very soon.
I was thinking about all the all the rumors and opinions that have been swirling around him, and then to watch him perform like that, which was vintage. I mean, he made it look simple, and
You
there
want to
are
know why?
a lot of people that were tuned into that watching from Liga MX because Liga MX is the league that will pay
Okay.
MLS a big sum of money for Denny Bouanga, and he will go
He'll
and
be on a
make
Mexican.
cake.
You want to know why? Because the MLS is really hard. It's really hard. Bouanga doesn't do that on a weekly basis. He does it in moments, but he
Mm-hmm.
can't do that against MLS squads because this league is very, very physical. It's
Mm-hmm.
very tough. It's more organized. But you get somebody that's a all-star team
Yeah.
that is not completely
Spread out. There's
organized, spread
space.
out.
There's room for him to
Right.
run. Yep,
And
dude.
but that type of player in that league, he could be an absolute star. He could probably break scoring records. I
Dude,
agree with
he'll be on Club America within six
that.
months.
today.
Yeah, today. All right. So you're the commissioner. What's one thing you're going to change about the All-Star game for next year? Give me one thing.
I'm gonna make it about the players. I'm not gonna have all the lights, camera action, YouTube stars.
More MLS players on the field.
Yeah,
I I I I can co-sign that big time. I think
we need more.
like
And
go ahead.
I almost changed my. This is not rare for me to change my opinion. However, however,
You mean you speak before you think?
yeah, but no, but I was clear in my statement saying I like the Liga MX versus MLS.
Right.
I was clear in that.
Yep.
However, this could have been the one that has changed my mind
Hmm.
because of we have so many stars and our league is so fantastic. We could fill two and a half, three teams of guys that would be just as entertaining with more relevant guys than League MX. So I am going back. I think we are now in a place that we have franchise marquee players that could fill two teams, East versus West. We could do all the skill stuff and put more guys on display. And I think it needs to happen. I think we need to cut ties with League MX and we need to do our own thing. And just you can do the exact same way. You could do it the exact same way, just our guys.
Yeah.
And East versus West, you have something on the line, like who's going to host the MLS Cup and make it relevant so that they're playing hard. But I think that this was the one that changed my mind.
So I was thinking about this, and I completely agree with everything you're saying because I think that was my overall takeaway was like I want to learn more about MLS players.
Our
Period.
guys.
End of story. That's it.
Yeah.
I want to
Done.
learn more about the league, and this is a great opportunity for the league to tell me about who they are.
Yeah.
And that is something that I think has to be paramount the next time they do this for next year. The second piece of that is okay, then how do you make it meaningful? Because then that's the follow-up question. Like, how do you get to an all-star game that's meaningful? And I don't know that making, hosting MLS Cup is actually meaningful in that moment because you're so far away from it and it really is only going to affect maybe 4 to 8 players on the field and they're only going to play 30 minutes. So then it's still not there. What I came away with was why don't one of these billionaires, so like the idea that came in popped into my mind was Mattress Mac. Do you remember this guy in NCAA, the March Madness? He was betting, like he was making, I want to say, like $5 million bets on games, and he was doing it for the NCAA. He was doing it for the Astros. He clearly has a ton of money. There are plenty of people out there with tons of money. Why not make the game meaningful in a meaningful way? TST is now they have created this idea that's meaningful because there's $1 million prize at the end of it. What if this game is a $10 million donation to one side or the other's foundation? There's two foundations and they're both bidding for it, and the corporate on either side is going to pony up the money so that there is a clear motivating factor and it gets more buy-in from the community to this league. We have so many partners and so many sponsors that are interested in meaningful engagement that you have this incredible vehicle right there to do something impactful with it. And all the players would get behind that. If there's something to play for, we're all competitors. Give me something to play for. And I will toss a ping pong ball into a red solo cup if it means that you have to do 5 push-ups, right? And I'm gonna try my hardest, aren't I? And you're gonna do the same
Yeah.
thing. So like if you put that on a national scale and then I don't know, I just feel like there's something more to it that we have to get to. And
Yeah.
that's what I would love to see for next year. So
It's not a bad idea. I was thinking live betting between billionaires, like live betting. That would be
okay.
cool. So, but charity's a little bit better. So maybe we could do both.
Recording live from the super yacht in the Mediterranean. Oh, Gordo, pretty good performance today. Journeyman, we will see you out there. Adios.